Smite 2 is coming this year.
Elden Ring's DLC is almost here.
And Ubisoft wants gamers to live without fear. Let's get into hot news gaming, everybody. Today is January 17, 2024. It's
And I'm Kyle.
Wednesday. Well, I'm glad for you. Well, Smite 2, the sequel to Titan Forge Games' original MOBA, Smite, from
I've
2014.
played that.
So is Michael. Is set to release in the spring of this year. The news comes from the official Smite keynote held over the weekend that announced the new game would enter alpha testing in the spring before ramping up to a full release after early access is finished. Smite 2 totally rebuilds the original game from the ground up on Unreal Engine 5 over the original game's use of Unreal Engine 3.
That's an older version.
Yep. The engine upgrade will allow the game to have better lighting and higher fidelity models, among other features now in Unreal 5. The sequel will also include new mechanics, new game systems, and new skins that will transfer among platforms. Although Smite 2 will be a sequel, it will also be a standalone game. That means that players who are not ready to switch to Smite 2 can still play the game for the foreseeable future. This is a big deal for many players, as the developers have also made it known that none of the original skins in Smite before Season 11 will transfer over to the new game. The rationale is that the amount of time and effort to move over roughly 1,600 skins would take about 246 person years for the developers. Rather than wasting time on that, players will receive legacy gems for every skin they ever purchased. Veteran and returning players will also be rewarded for all their accomplishments in the original game, including up to 11 new skins.
I will not play this game.
Yeah?
I say that, but I will. I will play it. I will play it at least once.
Did you play Overwatch 2 at least once? Well, good, because Smite 2 follows in the footsteps of both Overwatch 2 and Counter-Strike 2, each of which saw varying degrees of success in both player retention and adding new content to the game. A few competitive online games still use their original framework, such as League of Legends and Dota 2. And since Valve has an aversion to the number 3, it's more likely we'll see a sequel for League before that MOBA that inspired it.
And that seems like a silly statement to make, but they don't like number 3.
Well, I can only go number 1 and 2.
I can go number 3.
I'm scared.
But
go number 3 now.
You might be scared of me going number 3, but what you really should be scared of is the director behind the now developing Minecraft movie. Because
Why?
they also have an aversion to repeating the mistakes made in Sonic the Hedgehog. Weird crossover, right?
That sounds like a good thing.
More specifically, he wants to avoid another ugly Sonic situation that nearly derailed the success of the first live-action Sonic movie.
Just make everybody blockheads. It's not that hard.
Would have ended Jim Carrey's career.
If he was Sonic, I agree.
In an interview, Minecraft movie director Jared Heiss explained that he enjoys the challenge of adapting a game without much story. He says that there is a fun, ridiculous movie that can come from Minecraft's open-ended sandbox.
This problem has already been solved. They have the choose-your-own-adventure games or movies on Netflix. It's not like this is a novel problem.
They did this with Barbie.
Well, you know, I can't emote when I'm wearing a helmet.
You can, though. You can in Fortnite. If your character has a helmet, you can still...
Master Chief can't do it.
However, he knows that he has to be careful taking liberties with the IP. He doesn't want another ugly Sonic moment with the game's fanbase. He says, "I just can't disappoint the 10-year-olds or they're going to murder us."
And let me see what you have.
No! He's right.
Just give Jack Black
find
full reign.
We reported before that Jack Black, who worked with Heiss for Nacho Libre, is currently cast as Minecraft Steve, of course. Other castmates include...
I wasn't here for that. He's Minecraft Steve?
He's Minecraft Steve.
What? His name is Jack.
Yes, that's how acting works.
Oh, okay.
You silly man. Other castmates include Jason Momoa and Wednesday's Emma Myers. But Heiss says another funny lady is also said to be announced for the film, probably Amy Schumer.
Is that a joke?
She's funny.
Okay.
We'll watch for any other news as the movie continues production ahead of its scheduled release in April 2025.
Well, it's gonna be 2025 before I take Hot News Gaming back over. Just kidding, it's now. Because also still in production is the next indie darling that has you arming Pokemon-like creatures with guns.
I've heard of this.
Coming to Xbox Game Pass and Steam Early Access is Palworld, a game that combines Pokemon's cutesy character aesthetic with weapons and factory automation you'd expect basically anywhere else. This is Digimon! Digimon had guns!
They didn't have guns.
Are you kidding me? Omnimon was a gigantic gun himself!
Prove it.
This This one caught players' eyes 2 years ago when its first trailer made the rounds. We've since learned that you can poach and breed Pokemon-like pals, have them work in a factory, or even use them to save your skin when dungeon crawling.
That's what this game is about? This sounds awesome.
It's a lot, but if this sounds like something you're interested in, the game goes live Thursday, January 18th. I know what you're playing next week.
Oh, baby.
Also coming to Game Pass in the next month are the action sequel to Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion, Turnip Boy Robs a Bank, top-down roguelike Brotato, and the remastered version of Persona 3, Personal 3 Reload.
Personal 3?
It's a typo, but I read it anyways. Turnip Boy will be available tomorrow the 18th, while Brotato will be available on January 30th, and Persona 3 Reload on February 2.
I want to do the tax evasion.
Yeah, I don't know. Tax evasion sounds more fun than robbing a bank.
We also have a few bundles and sales for today's deals.
Oh, Deal Master!
Oh, that's not me. That's Reese. Where's Reese?
You know, when I look at him, I imagine you, so...
Yeah. Starting with the Awesome Games Done Quick bundle on Humble Bundle, if you pay $10, you'll get Bayonetta, Borderlands 2 Game of the Year Edition, Celeste, and Sonic Adventure 2 with its Battle DLC on Steam. Humble Bundle also has an Unreal Engine software bundle if you want to learn to make games instead. You can grab everything in this bundle if you pay at least $30.32.
Ooh.
Yeah. Moving over to Fanatical, several publisher sales are going on with big discounts on popular games. The first publisher sale is from Capcom, where you can get Monster Hunter World Iceborne Master Edition for $17.
Only 17 bones!
Do you realize that is a Monster Hunter World cost $60 when it came out, of course, and then the Iceborne, I'm pretty sure cost like another $40 on top of that. 17 bones.
Patient gamers, baby.
Street Fighter 6 for $34 and Resident Evil 4 Remastered for $35. Next is Devolver Digital, where you can grab Weird West, Talos Principle 2, and Inscription for less than $25. The last publisher is Warner Brothers Interactive, which gives you the Batman Arkham series for $8. All of them? All of them. All of them.
All of them!
Gotham Knights for $15 and Hogwarts Legacy Deluxe Edition for $60.
I'd wait for a better deal on that one.
We got a better deal when it came out.
We sure did.
Our last deals for today come from Steam, where you can pick up Tiny Tina's Wonderlands for $14.99 until tomorrow, January 18th, and Evil West for $20 until January 22nd. So do your best to remember, and if you don't...
Hey, but do you remember the Splatoon-like game Square Enix is making?
No.
Well, I don't blame you if you haven't, since there hasn't been much marketing for it, but Foamstars...
I do remember this.
...comes out on February 6th. You can pick this up for full price when it releases, or download it for free if you have a PlayStation Plus subscription.
I don't.
From February 6th to March 4th, 2024. You canceled it? You remembered to do that.
Uh-huh.
I got hit with the yearly charge last month. It was rough. From February 6th to March 4th, 2024, you can download the new 4v4 arena shooter, which Square Enix says brings the foam party to as many players as possible.
Love foam parties.
They are the bubbliest.
I vote for that every election.
Not. This is the wrong season to be making that joke. Make it next year. The move is similar to forgotten PS5 exclusive Destruction All-Stars, which made a similar debut on the service to avoid lackluster launch sales. Foamstars will launch with 3 PvP multiplayer modes, 3 maps, and several Foamstars to choose from. There is also a solo and PvE mode for players to try out, though the focus is definitely on the PvP side, which means I will not care about this game in the slightest.
Player versus Fortnite.
Hopefully it catches on better than that joke and also Destruction All-Stars ever did.
It'll probably do that.
You think?
But it'll still be bad.
You know what is bad? The wait for the Elden Ring DLC. Talk about that now, Kyle.
Man.
Lur.
Yes, it is true. The new Elden Ring DLC will be released very, very soon. Yes. Someone on Twitter noticed that a new DLC package was added to the game's Steam page, which you can view now on SteamDB. That's Steam by Daylight. There isn't any other information available other than this. It is the first time something like this has happened since a pre-order bundle was added to the DLC files in May 2022. We've been waiting since then. The new edition has led many to believe that...
Has the game been out since 2022?
It's 2021. 1, 2, 2, 1.
1, 2, 3, 4,
That's when
5,
it came
6,
out, was
7,
May 2022.
8, 9. Okay, it came out in January.
So May.
Right, it came out in the January of May.
The new edition has led many to believe that Elden Ring's Shadow of the Erdtree DLC is coming as soon as next month, but I doubt.
Is that the thing that took the hobbits and threw stones at Isengard?
The Force? February marks a year since the DLC was announced, though many believe it has been in production since the original game's release.
Considering how long it takes George R.R. Martin to write anything, I believe it.
Oh, and he helped make the game.
Yep, that's the joke.
Speculation of a February release window began after controller manufacturer Thrustmaster unintentionally thrust a new collaboration with Elden Ring, coinciding with the planned DLC in February 2024. I don't know if that makes sense. The announcement was deleted, and From Software has since said that the DLC needs more time but is progressing well. If The Shadow of the Erdtree is released next month, it joins a crowded February headlined by Nightingale, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, and
Supposed to suck.
and the long-delayed Skull and Bones.
Boo! No chance.
Yeah, I'm not very excited for any of this.
This reminds me of when Game Shark, or now known as AI Shark, said that the Switch 2 is coming out in September.
They changed their name to AI Shark.
They sure did.
That sounds like a really good idea.
I'm sure that they were called Crypto Shark at one point. Actually, I joke, but they got into crypto in the interim, so, you know.
Sounds very searchable. We'll keep an eye on this as the month comes to an end.
But what's just beginning is a new legal suit against Alan Wake developer Remedy Entertainment over its logo by Rockstar Games owner Take-Two Interactive. Take-Two claims in a lawsuit that Remedy's new logo, which it debuted in April of last year, infringes on the Rockstar Games logo by being too similar. Guess what it is?
Just the word Alan Wake 2?
The company's called Remedy, dude. Good try. Most gamers are familiar with the capital R Rockstar has used for decades, a point that Take-Two highlights why Remedy shouldn't be able to use for its logo. While Remedy did trademark the logo, it didn't until a month after it was shown to the public. The trademark approved in June 2023 after the application was sent in May 2023. It would take only 2 months for Take-Two to oppose the trademark, making it interesting that the story is only now getting around. What's interesting about this suit is that Rockstar and Remedy have an agreement to remake Max Payne 1 and 2 as a single-player experience. Rockstar owns the rights and will publish and finance the game while Remedy develops it. This lawsuit likely has no bearing on the agreement between the two companies, but it is a strange situation for the two to end up in.
Like the Kate lady?
Who is that?
I don't know who that is.
I don't know, man. You're very strange.
But what's also strange is that we don't have smaller consoles since someone turned a PS5 into a friggin' gaming tablet. YouTuber DIY Perks showed that a PS5 could be as small as a tablet with just a little engineering know-how.
I take exception to him calling this a tablet. It's plugged into the freaking wall.
Literally, what do you do with tablets sometimes?
You have to charge them.
You plug them into the
There's
wall.
no battery.
You plug them into the wall.
He didn't put a battery in.
The YouTuber showed that the redesigned PCB inside the PS5 Slim makes it the perfect size to fit inside smaller housing or a tablet form factor in this case. Tablet.
I object. Good clickbait.
He ends up creating custom heat sinks that can use liquid metal for added cooling, as well as a custom shell for everything to sit inside. He even came up with a triple fan cooling system that helps bring temperatures to 42 degrees Celsius, which is more than 41. Topping it all off is an OLED screen that helps make whatever game he plays look that much better than an LCD panel would. The final result is a system much smaller than the PS5 Slim, but can be taken with you like a true successor to the PlayStation Portable, as long as you have an outlet. While the video shows that a console can be made into a much smaller form factor without any trade-off in performance, you have to wonder why Sony or Xbox hasn't opted to do the same already. After all the crap that the Portal just got for streaming games, maybe there's a chance that we get a real PSP3 if this guy could do it.
The reason they don't do it
PSP3
is because, number one, he doesn't talk about his manufacturing costs. He doesn't talk about how much the engineer and then also that's on the backs of Sony doing all the work to reduce the size of the PCB to make all of that happen.
Hey, I saw a YouTube video of a guy who made his own toaster. Did you see that?
Did it Xbox logo? Okay, listen, here's the thing. DIY Perks did a great thing. I'm just like looking at the small things I get to complain about. But you know what I'm not gonna complain about? Actually, I am. I'm gonna complain a lot about this one. Because our last story for today deals with Ubisoft and its newly rebranded Ubisoft Plus premium subscription service. Ubisoft Plus, like EA Play, poop offers. What's that supposed to say?
I just typed the word poop into a random sentence before I put the teleprompter up.
No, Kyler did it. Okay. Ubisoft Plus, like EA Play, offers players multitudes of games at a single monthly or annual price, published and or developed by Ubisoft. Gaming subscriptions still need to work on making their way into the gaming industry, as Game Pass and PlayStation Plus are the only significant success stories. However, Ubisoft believes that there is much to be gained from having a Game Pass. You Ubisoft? Mm-hmm. Don't marry them. The Game Pass subscription model with day one releases, so long as players are willing to give up on owning their games.
I don't want them. Take them.
You're the problem. Director of subscriptions at Ubisoft, Philippe Tremblay, said in a recent interview, one of the things we saw is that gamers are used to, a little bit like DVD, having and owning their games. That's the consumer shift that needs to happen. More like consumer... He also believes that subscription fatigue, or owning too many subscriptions at once, is attributed to a slower adoption by industry consumers. It's a sentiment directly opposed by those who advocate for game preservation. Many people like to hold on to their old games and their systems for one reason or another, and many are worried that games going digital only removes the ability to play them whenever and wherever they like. If I want to play Black and White on my Steam Deck, in my bathtub,
on a Steam Deck,
I should be allowed to. Cases of this have already happened with the death of live service titles, and EA removed the ability to buy another EA FIFA game if it wasn't a physical copy late last year. EA they ruined Black and White. According to the Video Game History Foundation, about 87% of classic games made before 2010 are unavailable anywhere. Microsoft may have backward compatibility going back to the original Xbox, but many PS1, PS2, and nearly all PS3 games aren't playable without emulation, a PS2 or an original PS3 model. If these games were more widely available to play again, more people would likely be willing to download games online instead of having a physical disc. But until we have a sure way to preserve our favorite games online, I do doubt more people will get a Ubisoft Plus account anytime soon.
You can account on us going to comment response, though.
Oh, baby!
I did the thing.
You did. That was a good segue.
Yeah.
So we're going to start off talking about Moto Vibes. Said, this episode of Hot News was absolutely hilarious to me. Watching Brett be the unhinged person and Kyle trying to stay on topic, I'm with Kyle. Hashtag BullyBooty2024. Woo!
Forgot that was the last episode.
That was the last episode. Then we got Amaro's Weekly saying, we all knew would happen when Hasbro actively took control of Watak.
How'd you make that noise?
Which one?
Is that how?
I don't know.
I think it is. I think that's the noise you made.
Cameron says, new viewers complain about pronunciations. OG viewers know. What do they know?
Cameron
Vanana. Kilted Gamer says, looks like the weirdest morning show duo. Wake up with Lois and Kyler with all the popsicles in the fridge. I feel for Catlin having to edit this. This was a rough one for her, I'm sure.
I don't understand the references.
I did the PETA and the horses.
PETA, the horses here.
You kept saying lowest?
Lowish.
So that's what I went with. That was
but what
good.
Popsicles?
Then Aim Iga saying, I miss YouTube videos like this. Not dissing you guys at all. Quite the opposite. The charm of this video is that it's not super produced. It's kind of rough with the background echo and socks in the middle of the frame.
Lewd foot touching.
We'll leave it there. No foot touching this episode.
I've been touching your foot the entire time.
I have frostbite then.
What?
I should get that taken care of.
Ah, he's numb.
Yeah, it's cold outside. There's snow right there. Yours spins longer than mine.
That was my nickname in high school.